Hey guys, Marty Boots here. Today I just want to talk about Bitcoin and the potential outcome in the near future and in the longer term. Now everybody's talking about is Bitcoin going to go to new highs? Is it going to moon? Is it going to crash? Everybody's making all these predictions, and it's nobody knows. Nobody has a crystal ball, and professional traders do not make predictions like this because a number of factors. They do not want to sway their subconscious mind. If they start making trades and saying Bitcoin is going to go to 6,000 and then go to new highs, and then the market gets down there, and it's already swaying a prediction in their thought process. You want to be clear-minded. You want to be fresh, clear-minded, and have zero bias. You do not want to have a bias where the market is going to go. It should not matter. It should not matter. Yes, we all wanted the moon, but the right way of doing it is have zero bias. If it's going up, you be long. If it's going down, you got to be short. It should be as simple as that. But anyway, for fun here, we are going to predict what is going to happen. We're going to try and predict. Now, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just going to talk about, this is going to be an educational video today, and it's going to be based on market symmetry. Market symmetry is extremely important. Now, okay, so we can see here Bitcoin is in an uptrend above weekly 200 moving average. You can consider that in a bull market. Everything is above all moving averages and prices moving higher. So things are relatively good regardless of we're having a pullback. Now, okay, so we'll talk here about Bitcoin. And this is compared to RVN. You can see here on RVN, let me just so you can compare them. You can see the big move up on RVN, and then we formed a descending triangle. And you can see the market symmetry on this descending triangle was pretty beautiful. I don't know if I've drew that right. I might need to zoom in a bit, or maybe it's just not quite right there, but it's close enough. You can see there the measured move from the highs of the triangle to the lows of the triangle moved from the breakout point to the target area, and you can see how close it was. It was pretty flawless. And I'm not even sure if I drew that right. I think I might have moved it a bit, but anyway, it's close enough. You get my point. So now we have Bitcoin. We'll move to Bitcoin here, and I'm talking about market symmetry. Now, this analysis is based on market symmetry, and almost solely based on market symmetry, with a few other things thrown about. Now, there is different ways. I will make other videos and different potential outcomes, but this is based on market symmetry, and it's more of an educational video, but things kind of worked out here, potentially worked out, so I just want to base the video on market symmetry. First off, okay, this move here, you can see this move here from the highs down to the lows of this first move. You can see that down to the lows of that first move. I probably haven't drew it there, but you can see it there. It's pretty accurate. Okay. Now, if I take that and I move that to the second move on Bitcoin, look at this. It is pretty flawless. You can see here on the second move to the peak down to the bottom, it is almost identical. It is almost absolutely identical. It's flawless. This is called market symmetry. Now, if I take this move, and a lot of times markets like to move in threes, twos and threes. Now, we've already had a second move. Well, this could be considered one bigger move. But anyway, for now, if this is going to move in threes, three symmetrical moves together, and it happens quite often in markets, this is our peak. You can see here that we already have a peak. We've established a peak, and now we've broke away from it. This peak if this pattern is going to play out, we should not take out this high. We should create lower highs so we have a peak in place. If I hope you all can see that. Maybe I don't know is it better to zoom out a bit? Maybe you can see it better. But so if I use a symmetrical move, a measured move from this peak down to here, down to the $7,000 area. This brings us to roughly the $7,000 area. It brings us to a pierce of the 200 daily moving average, which is very, very important. It also brings us into all this support area. So this gives us an excellent first target, which is also the lows of the last consolidation period. Now it would also give us a higher low. This would be a higher low in the uptrend, because this can be considered the low of the last period, of the last consolidation period. So this is the low. If we stop anywhere here, this is still a higher low. So this is potential to drop down, for example, and hold this level, and maybe we'll go to new highs. You know, that's a possibility. But oh, sorry, let me clear all that. Anyway, okay, so that is our first target, getting from market symmetry. Now, if this is a descending triangle and we are going to play out, our target for the pattern is right down here. Right down here at the below $4,000 to $4,500 level. Now, where is that? That is also the middle of this large green bar, and I think it was John that talked about that in the group. But it's not a coincidence, guys. This is called market symmetry, and you know, one strategy is to say that these bars need filled. But sometimes, why do they need filled? And the pattern is telling us that the potential for that move down there to fill it, it's showing us a path. It's showing us the light, so to speak, that the potential is there. You know, sometimes you think there's a bar. Well, it needs filled somehow, but how the hell is it going to get filled? This is showing us almost down to a T of why we could get down there. So, with that said, this is it is a potential to get down there. Now let me just show you. If we bounce up here, form a newer low, and maybe start breaking down, and then we get below the 200 red 200 moving average, and maybe we start consolidating, and then we have that breakdown. What is that going to do? That is going to give us, this is very rough here, guys. That is very rough, but I just want to give you an idea of what can happen. Now we can also then have another measured move. You know, I drew that very rough. That's very rough there, but you can see if on a measured move here on a lower high, right down to a pierce of the 200 moving average on a daily time frame. If we consolidate there, that would give us a measured move right down to our target area, because we're unlikely to break straight down. But something like this is very possible, and you know, that's very roughly drawn there, and that would coincide with targets down in this area, which coincides with the target of the descending triangle. Now, people do want to hear this, and people do want to say the price is going back down to $4,000, $5,000. I'm not spreading FUD. This is an educational video based on symmetry and market symmetry. And the market symmetry just happens to play out on Bitcoin, as it does on a lot of markets, a lot of charts, and a lot of moves. So it's very important. So we have to consider this. It's not just going off a whim, it's actually going off reading the chart and reading chart structure. Now, quickly before I move on, a couple of other important things to move into. This RSI is now in bearish territory. You can see here when the RSI broke down on RVN, when RVN bounced here and came back down, you can see it had a failed bounce of the 50, and then we were in bearish strength territory and the price crashed, crumbled and crashed away. And as you can see below the 50, this is what happens. We bounced, had a failed move off the 50, and then we dropped again. And you can see there, that is that drop. Now what happened? You can see this move here. I can take it up there. I can probably extend that out a bit down to the bottom. You can see here, well, that didn't quite play out there. From the breakdown, maybe I can take it. From the breakdown, and if I move that to here, you can see the market symmetry again. It's pretty good. It's not flawless, but it gives you a ballpark. Just gives you a ballpark figure. So, with all that said, we need to watch. This can break away now possibly, and then we may get that back test failure and maybe drop again. So we just got to watch this, because we are now in below the 50, which is a bearish territory. We'll just delete that. Okay, that's the first part, guys. That is the first part. This is the second part. Market symmetry shows us that we are in a giant symmetrical triangle. And this, some people would like to call this a giant pennant. I like to call it a symmetrical triangle. We have lower highs and higher lows at this present point in time. And honestly, there is nothing else you can call this right now except for a symmetrical triangle. I just mean Bitcoin as a whole. You might call this a bull market. You might call it a parabolic move. You can call this an uptrend. You can call this a bull flag. You can call this whatever you want. But the overall pattern, the larger pattern, is a symmetrical triangle. I don't care what anybody says. That's what it is. There's nothing else to call it. So regardless, you have to look at this pattern as a symmetrical triangle until it is not a symmetrical triangle anymore. Now we could still even move higher still and top out up here and drop down. That just means we are in a larger symmetrical triangle. There is no difference. There's no change. That is what the pattern is. And a symmetrical triangle, it's a bullish symmetrical triangle. The trend is up, and so in theory this should break out to the upside. So it is a bullish symmetrical triangle. Now, with that established, that we are in that. Now, I posted this a few weeks ago in our Discord channel, and someone brought it to my attention again yesterday, I think it was, and reminded me. But I just think it fits very well when you use market symmetry, and I think that's very important. I forget now. There is some very important symmetrical moves here. If you take this, I'm not going into this now, but you can take that move, and it basically takes you, down to here. And I think there's another one. You take it down to here. Maybe I didn't do that right, but it didn't work out there probably. But there is actually a few very symmetrical moves there, and I'm not going into that now because I need to take time and look at them properly. But it called the low in Bitcoin anyway as well. But symmetry, guys, is very important. So we have a symmetrical triangle, and we have market symmetry pointing to the triangle, to the base of this triangle. Now it's possibly very important. I'm not spreading FUD, guys. This is an educational video on market symmetry, and it's playing out, and that is just what it is. It's FUD or not. I'm just reading the chart. Okay, so what it lines up with is the 200 weekly moving average. Now the 200 weekly moving average as well is, it's probably just going to continue this sort of path. And if I can put that line back without making a mess of it, very roughly, so anywhere there, whatever, you can see there that we may, come back down, say that breaks, and we may come down, pierce the 200 moving average, come back above and break, probably come back and back test the triangle, and away we go. That is a possible way that this symmetrical triangle could play out. So before I move on, trying to think what else. I think I had a couple other things to talk about, but now the video is 16 minutes long. I better keep going here. Anyway, guys, the target for the pattern is $30,000. The target for this giant symmetrical triangle is about $30,000. I know we talk about in the group, maybe it has to be 60 to 70%, whatever way through, very roughly. It doesn't have to be. That's a rule in the sand, and it comes from a lot of good traders, and it's a good thing to do. So hopefully we don't come right into the end of the apex, but obviously that's a long way away. This here is a monthly chart. So the breakout of this pattern, guys, roughly, it's not until, that's July. There's July next year. This is a year away. So you could say 10, 11, 12 months away, guys. So that is saying that we are going to have a lot of terrible action on Bitcoin. It's going to be slow. It's going to be painful. It's going to be horrible. It's going to be grinding. A lot of people might even leave the market again. It's going to get that bad, in my opinion, and I don't want to be sounding too bad about it. But if this is the pattern that's going to play out, this is going to continue to the downside till we get to this. And a lot of that is going to be choppy, not very fun action. We've had this beautiful move up. That's probably as good as we're going to get for the time being, because this is probably going to drift lower and lower and lower, and a lot of consolidation, a lot of dropping down, and then maybe we'll get that move a bit higher. So a couple other things. We also have the 50 monthly moving average trending higher here, which is also very important and very powerful. So that is probably going to trend something like this, which is also very, very similar to the weekly 200 moving average. Very, very similar. So the two of those together are very powerful, and they should hold and bring this market higher. They definitely should hold and bring this market higher. Here is the other thing. Last thing here, guys. Prices cannot just keep going to the moon. Prices cannot go to the moon. Everybody does expect $50,000 Bitcoin or whatever, but the problem is to do something like that from $10 to $50,000. That's insane. I don't know. I've been trading 13, 14 years now. I've never seen anything do that before. So until it happens, I'm skeptical, but I'm also very bullish on Bitcoin. The thing about it is, it needs a market moves. Did I click that? A market moves higher, and then it needs to build pressure, and then it moves higher again, and then it builds pressure, and then it moves higher again. I didn't draw that very well, but you know what I mean. So what this is doing is this is building pressure. This is like a pressure cooker. This is coiling and coiling and coiling and coiling up, and eventually, if all goes to plan, I didn't draw that properly, but anyway, finally when we get the breakout, that is a possibility. And the target of the pattern is $30,000, roughly. So there is no reason why we can't go down here. And I don't mean to spread FUD or whatever else, but this is just on market symmetry. And you can see the symmetrical triangle target up here also. This whole video is based on symmetry, market symmetry. There's your target. This is your pattern. This is your back test. This is your breakout. You know, that is what it is. So I don't know, take it or leave it. Some people want to hear it. Some people don't want to hear it. Some people will love this because you can accumulate and accumulate and accumulate and buy as much as you can possibly get if we get back down there for that final breakout to the upside. So that's it for the video, guys. It's ran on. It's 20 minutes long. So it's gone way too long. But I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. You can also drop me a comment there and give me some maybe video ideas or comments on this video, and I'll be happy to answer those. And if you'd like to join us on our Discord, we're in there every single day trading the markets with lots of very intelligent traders and investors in there, improving, trying to make a killing in this market every single day. So if you'd like to join us in there, please hit us up in the link below and send us a message to our Facebook or on our website, and we'll get you hooked up on a 3-day free trial. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.